Hi everyone, this is the Gnome and welcome to my Wednesday update. What we're going to have a look at today is this week's cinema releases, kind of a day ahead of schedule to give you an idea of what's coming out and what you should go see. And we're also going to be talking about my favourite and everyone's favourite Christmas movie, Die Hard. So starting with the new cinema releases, there's a new horror film coming out called Mama. And it's a horror film with Jamie Lannister in. So you should go watch it. The guy who plays Jamie Lannister is a mint actor. Well, he's pretty good in Game of Thrones. Who knows what he's like elsewhere. But it's a horror film. Those films don't necessarily do very well. February is a kind of weird time to release them, admittedly. Maybe the kind of big Halloween holiday is stuck up with the usual Saw knockoff trash. But give it a go. I've heard good reviews of it. It's supposed to be quite scary, as much as a horror film can be. So give it a go. The more horror films we have, the better. Next is Song for Marion, which is a fake telling of a real story. It's where a group of OAPs get together to sing Glee style. The real story was based in the Northeast, and it looks like they've replicated that for the actual film. Gemma Arterton is in the movie. She was the Bond girl who got oiled up, not like that, in Quantum of Solace. And she's in it, and also so is General Zod. Awesome. Kneel before singing Zod is, I hope, a line in that film. It's unlikely, to be honest, but I'd quite like to say it. Next we've got Cloud Atlas. Can the Wachowski brothers redeem themselves after a string of poor movies? They certainly went big, with a time-spanning narrative and an all-star cast, and also starring Halle Berry. It's got Tom Hanks in. Everyone loves Tom Hanks, apart from me, and I'll probably go into a later video as to why that is. Jim Broadbent's in it, and it looks a kind of romance through the ages using some actors playing different roles and their connections within. It's based on the David Mitchell, not that one, novel was released in 2004, and actually looks quite interesting. It actually genuinely looks like it could be a good film for the Wachowski brothers' stroke sister. There's also the newest Terrence Malick movie, To the Yonder, which stars Daredevil's Ben Affleck, Olga Rushenbergsky, and Rachel McAdams. I have no idea about this film whatsoever. I've seen a one-line discussion of it, and that's basically what I'm going to share to yourself. If I go and see any of these films, I will come online and tell you my review. If I do go see any of these 4 films, it's probably going to be Mama. But actually quite a good week compared to last week, which was god-awful. This is actually a good week for cinema. So get yourselves out there. Get yourself to your local independent cinema, not your big retail chains. Tyneside Cinema is pretty badass if you're in the Northeast. And go see some films there. Keep our cinemas alive. Speaking of movies, we're going to have a quick look at Die Hard. Die Hard is the movie that made Bruce Willis as famous as he is now, and it's pretty much a perfect movie. Except one little part, which I hate with a passion. And that's the character of Harry Ellis. I really hate this character. Got nothing against the actor. He does a fine job. He makes me want to strangle Ellis through the screen, but he's awful. If you've not seen Die Hard, let me tell you a little bit about him. If you have seen Die Hard, I'm sure you already agree. Harry Ellis is every Occupy protester's worst nightmare. He's a coked up, sleazily bearded office arsehole. The first scene we see him in, he's snorting coke like it's nothing at his work's Christmas party. That's pretty uncool. He also then sleazes around some girls because why not? He's started that far. And he then proceeds to get himself over his head with Hans Gruber, a terrorist. For some reason, in his mind, or maybe it was suffocated by his beard, the character believes he can talk his way out of the terrorist attack. And he decides to do this in the 80th ways possible. This man is a living, breathing 1980s. Stuff Golden Gecko from Wall Street, Harry Ellis is 10 times as bad. Let me show you some of his lovely dialogue, and I'll try my best to make it fit perfectly for you. So when talking to one of the terrorists, who is armed by the way, he says, "Hey, sprechen Sie talk?" which is pretty offensive for a terrorist. It's pretty offensive to everyone, to be honest. He then is talking to the terrorist leader and says the lovely following: "Hey, business is business. You use a gun, I use a fountain pen. What's the difference? Let's put it in my terms. You're in a hostile takeover. You snatch us up for some green mail, but you're not expecting some poison pill to be running around the building. Am I right, Hans? Bubby, I'm your white knight." I can't even go into words how much that annoys me. Bubby? Who says Bubby, really? It's infuriating. It just makes me want to watch it and shout at him and then cheer. Spoilers, when he dies. Because he dies, he gets shot in the face. Other lovely dialogue from him is, "Hey babe, I negotiate $1 million deals for breakfast. I think I can handle this Euro trash." Let's be clear, at that point, the entire Nakatomi Plaza has been overtaken by the terrorists who are all wielding guns, and he thinks he can, as I said, 1980s his way out of the situation. And the last little bit, which is probably my favourite line of he says, is at the very end, just before he gets shot. "Hey, what am I, method actor? Hans? Babe, put away the gun. This is radio, not television." And then he gets shot in the face. And good riddance to him. I hate Harry Ellis. He also kind of lets slip that Holly McClane is who she is, not Holly Gennaro. So it's his fault that she gets kidnapped as well. Fuck Harry Ellis. I hate him so much. On a slightly more serious note, how do people use buses? This might not sound very serious, but I think it's an interesting and important area. So say, for example, you've got a job interview and the only way to get there is by bus. Maybe you're inept, like I am, who can't drive, or maybe you just can't be bothered. So you plan your route out, you know where you're going to get on, because the bus stop is near where you live, and you know which bus stop you need to get off. If you imagine this is the first time that you've gotten on this bus to this new location, how do you know which bus stop to get off on? Are you supposed to count the stops from the stop you left to the stop you're supposed to get on? Are you supposed to have analysed the local pictures and the local landmarks to say, yes, the next stop after this abandoned, burned out car is the stop I need to go on? Not sure why that would be on one of the landmarks. Maybe a classy city like South Shields. Or are you supposed to go, oh, there's the Ladbrokes. I know my stop's the next one. Or are you supposed to open up your GPS on your phone? Because that's what I do. If I have to get a bus where I don't know where I'm going, especially if it's dark, you can't see the local landmarks, I watch my journey through on my GPS. That gives me a rough idea as to where I'm going. So I'm just wondering, people who actually do get buses for a living, maybe not for a living, whose job is it to get a bus? And people who get on a bus to go to work on a regular basis, how do you know? Do you just simply gamble the first time and then hope you get off at the right stop? Generally, put in the comments, I'd actually quite like to know. So that's the end of today's episode. This Saturday we are going to have some bonus content from a different room than this room. Believe it or not, there is more than just one room. I am not locked in here all of the time. So please feel free to log in for that. We'll be sharing it on Facebook, Twitter, and all of that stuff. So please leave a comment, like, share, all of that lovely funky stuff. I'm at The Gnome. I'm on Facebook.com/The Gnome. I'm basically everywhere that you don't want me to be. So thanks so much everyone watching. I'll get this uploaded, and I'll see you next time we're knocking about. So cheers everyone. Thanks.